So as part of our investigation, we also collected our own water samples, the same way the local authorities do it. When we notified a homeowner that she had an alarmingly high lead level, she says she could hardly believe it. Now, in this sample taken from a water fountain at the school, our expert says he found a lead level 3 times what the government says is safe. When in route, we spoke to the DA today, and he says he doesn't have enough evidence to close down one local gun range, but another club that we reported on will remain shut down indefinitely.
I think the investigation was necessary and would not have occurred but for the efforts of Ms. Lane.
And we've been telling you all day, do not drive, the roads are dangerous. Now, here's our news car. We're actually stuck here on 4th Street, but I have to tell you something amazing about this area. As soon as people around here noticed that we were stuck, these 4 men just came running out and said, we want to help you. We're going to help you push this car. How you guys doing over there, okay?
First at 6 tonight, a wake-up call for area school districts. A 69 News investigation reveals water in some of our schools may be unsafe to drink due to elevated levels of lead. In one case, lead levels were nearly 3 times what the federal government deems safe.
WFMZ's Hillary Lane has been leading the way for us on this story. She's live in Allentown tonight at one of the schools where high lead levels were discovered. Hillary?
Wendy Robb, we're here at Union Terrace Elementary School, one of 3 schools our investigation found an elevated level of lead. Now, in this sample taken from a water fountain at the school, our expert says he found a lead level 3 times what the government says is safe.
And lead is toxic at any concentration.
And Dr. Arup Sengupta, an environmental and chemical engineer at Lehigh University, says that's exactly what he found in the water coming from fountains at 3 local schools: lead, and at alarming levels.
If this is the lead concentration people are drinking, then that's absolutely no-no.
Earlier this month, as part of an ongoing investigation into elevated lead levels in children in the Lehigh Valley, 69 News attempted to obtain water testing results from the 2 largest school districts. Both the Allentown and Bethlehem school districts assured us that their water is safe, but could provide no specific test results. The EPA does not require schools to test their drinking water. So we began collecting our own water samples, and what we found was eye-opening. 3 random samples from 3 random schools, all with nearly double and in one case triple the amount of lead the federal government deems safe. Northeast Middle School, 27 parts per billion. Allen High School, 30 parts per billion. Union Terrace Elementary, 43 parts per billion.
Really, there is no safe level of lead, even if a school tap is tested at 3 parts per billion. That is not okay for children to be consuming.
Right now, the EPA has a standard of 15 parts per billion of lead in water. Anything above that, action should be taken. Are kids at risk with these levels?
Oh, if this is the level they're drinking, then they are definitely, not only the kids, even the adults are at risk.
That's because lead is considered to be one of the most dangerous neurotoxins known to man.
7, 8, 9, 10.
It's been linked to reduced IQs and developmental and behavioral issues in children, as well as high blood pressure and kidney stones in adults. It's important to note that the levels we found may not be representative of the water quality averaged over the course of the day. 2 of our samples were taken in the morning, when the water has presumably been sitting in the pipes overnight. Lead levels can go down as water is used. Still, some students could be exposed to higher concentrations earlier in the day.
Potentially on a daily basis, these children are being exposed to lead and water levels that are actually compromising their future. And
69 News has been consulting with Dr. Yana Lombernado, part of the water testing team at Virginia Tech University that uncovered the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, and just recently testified before Congress on this issue.
I was concerned because safety of our students is always my first thought, literally every morning.
Bethlehem Area Superintendent Dr. Joseph Roy says as a result of the 69 News investigation, he will take action immediately.
Today, testing, the city is going to take water samples from Northeast Middle School and send it to a certified state a state-certified water testing laboratory.
Dr. Roy says when students return to school tomorrow, the drinking fountains at the schools will be shut off. Bottled water will be provided for drinking and cooking. Over in Allentown, the school district tells us through a statement that the water at Union Terrace Elementary and Allen High School is also being tested. Tomorrow, water fountains at those two schools will not be in service until we receive the results of an accurate analysis. Both schools will refrain from using the water for consumption. The safety and well-being of our students and staff are our top priority. Both school districts have told us they rely on their city's water suppliers to maintain the safety of their water. And experts say that's the problem. The water may be safe and lead-free when it leaves the water treatment facilities, but that can change when it comes into contact with the pipes in the schools. Old pipes containing lead or lead solder that can leach into the water, causing serious issues. Can lead pipes be dangerous for people?
Oh, they can be very dangerous.
And common as well. In fact, lead pipes and lead solder were the standard in plumbing from the turn of the century up until the 1980s. Many of us grew up drinking water that traveled through lead pipes. But in recent years, the medical community has come to realize that even low levels of lead in the blood can do irreversible damage, which is why experts agree. City officials need to do a better job of educating themselves and the public about the dangers lurking in old plumbing. Because even with knowledge that there are old lead pipes and fixtures out there, time and time again, when we questioned local officials about the water, they insisted the water is safe.
I do not believe that the children we are seeing as having lead exposure risk have a risk from their water.
The water that we're delivering, we feel confident, is doing its job to protect public health.
Officials on a local and state level point to lead dust, paint, and soil as the main culprit of elevated lead exposure levels in the Lehigh Valley. A response Dr. Lambert Nadeau says she hears nationwide.
The narrative that paint, soil, and dust are always the main source is a narrative that is based on us not looking at lead in drinking water.
Now again, all three samples were taken at random, and experts agree any school, any place could have a similar issue if the water is flowing through lead pipes, lead service lines, or lead fixtures. Reporting live tonight in Allentown, Hillary Lane, 69 News.
District Attorney John Morganelli is stepping in yet again following a 69 News update to a story that we've been following for almost a year. Neighbors say bullets are continuing to fly in a quiet Northampton County neighborhood. They hope this time the gunfire stops before someone gets hurt or worse. WFMZ's Hillary Lane has the exclusive story.
District Attorney John Morganelli says authorities are reviewing surveillance video from the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club, as well as investigating around the area to try and figure out where the bullets are coming from.
Well, I'm glad. I'm hoping they do a thorough investigation.
Bob and Emily Fools spearheaded a special 69 News investigative report last September after bullets hit their Stockertown home. They say they're glad Northampton County District Attorney John Morganelli is taking a second look at the issue.
You can't have bullets flying through your yard, flying into your house.
Once again, they believe the gunfire is coming from the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club, which is less than a mile from their home on Main Street.
We do not want anybody to get hurt. That has been our main focus.
Morganelli first investigated the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club following our special report last year. He said there wasn't enough evidence to determine where the bullets are coming from. He also said that one of the issues is that the Fools are the only family who would come forward to say their home is getting hit by gunfire. But now that's all changed. In the past 2 weeks, 2 other homes have now reported being hit. 3 bullets hit the side of this home just up the street. One even traveling through the guest bedroom. Then around the same time, on the same block as the Fools, a woman tells us a bullet whizzed by her head as she sat on the porch with her young child. Neither neighbor wanted to appear on camera. The Fools family says they have been left without answers, and now they hope this time will be different for the sake of their entire community.
Hoping that something is done about it so that it stops.
We did reach out to the Stockertown Police Department, and they have not returned our calls. No word yet on how long this investigation will take. In the meantime, the Stockertown Rod and Gun Club remains open. Reporting in the control room, Hillary Lane, 69 News.
Many celebrated Father's Day yesterday with their children. We're sharing the story of a father who's close to us here at 69 News.
We do want to warn you, some of the video may be a bit unsettling. Here's Hillary Lane.
Every day, you welcome us into your living rooms as you tune in to watch our broadcasts. Behind the scenes, there are dozens of people working hard to make sure our programs hit the airwaves. You may never get to see their faces, but to us, they're family. So we were so excited when one of our own told us he was expanding his family. Here's his story of hope, heartbreak, and healing. They say a father's love
I really want to be a dad.
is a love like no other.
We were so excited.
Standby cold open.
And us here at 69 News were so excited when our technical director, Israel Alejandro,
3, 2, 1.
told us last July that he and his wife were expecting 6 months after their first pregnancy had ended in a miscarriage.
And we're going to be parents.
Israel and his wife, Shali, documented the journey as they went to doctor's appointments.
How's he doing right now?
And we shared in their excitement during big milestones.
It was almost unreal hearing his heartbeat for the first time. It was like bump, 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 bump.
Listen to the baby's heartbeat. And we also felt their heartbreak.
There were some concerns that the doctors had.
Israel and Shali learned of the unimaginable.
A rare genetic disorder that's called trisomy 13.
1% of babies diagnosed with trisomy 13 live to see their first birthday.
Broke my heart at first. I was praying so hard every day that, God would give us a miracle and that our son would live and there'd be nothing wrong with him.
With their faith at the forefront, they decided to give their little guy the name Job, after Job in the Old Testament, who was faced with many trials but never lost his faith. And these two parents never lost theirs.
The doctors had said it's possible that he could live a few weeks or maybe months.
So these two tried to maintain a sense of normalcy.
There's 1 tomato soup, 1 Italian sausage.
And did what any expecting parents do, baby showers.
And look at these. Daddy's best buddy.
Installing car seats. And they created a nursery. But the joy of this pregnancy came to a screeching halt at 38 weeks.
I found that Job's heart had stopped.
Their little baby boy had passed away.
Our hearts were just torn apart because we had made it so far. We were at 38 weeks that day.
Shali was induced and went into labor in early March. Their pastor, friends, and family came to the hospital from near and far.
We all prayed together.
Continue to strengthen Shali and myself.
The doctor told her, "Push, Mama."
And out came Job.
And when I finally saw my son for the first time with my own eyes, everything else just disappeared.
They say a father's love is like no other.
He had a cleft palate. He had 12 fingers. But none of that mattered. I was looking at my son. I was looking at my little baby boy.
The baby immediately swaddled in love from family and friends.
Even though they all knew he had died, they were there for us, but they were there to see him too. And it meant so much to us.
Soon, reality set in.
About the time that we got his crib, we also got his casket.
On a chilly March day, this little casket on display. Shali had planned to recite a poem in her son's honor.
She started to sing the song instead.
I will carry you.
It's a beautiful song.
While your heart beats here.
In the song it says, it's the mother telling the baby that I will carry you all my life, even though the baby's not there.
And I will praise the one who's chosen me.
The baby's still a part of us, still in our heart. We'll never forget. We'll never forget our son.
4 million babies nationwide are diagnosed with a genetic disorder each year. And as you can see from Israel's story, it can be emotionally trying for parents and loved ones. Israel and his wife want you to know that you are never alone and there is help out there. We have a list of resources on our website, WFMZ.com.